didn't have. An interesting couple of little tidbits on Iwo Jima was in that second camp. Yeah, I remember they wanted to build a shower. So, okay, so we built a tower and we put a pontoon on top of the tower, which was to make a tank. And we drilled a well and we pumped the water up to the tank in the afternoon to let it cool, so it was cool enough to take a shower in the morning. The water came out of the ground so hot that it would scald you if you took the shower right away. And I can remember doing the shower base. Somehow or another, instead of a surveyor, I became a cement finisher that day. And the man in charge, I think he was a lieutenant, he said, okay, you tell us how to mix a concrete. I didn't mix any concrete. So he said, well, tell us how much cement to put. Well, I told him, if it didn't look like it worked, I told him to change it. And finally we got, and I'm down there with the trowel. I became a cement finisher that day. Oh dear. And it's a good thing because I did finish the concrete floors in the Maryland Fireman Specialty Wire Company back when we built that first commercial building. It's what broke up my partnership. My partner work was too hard for him. He didn't want any parts finished in concrete. He just threw his trowel down, and we decided we didn't have a partnership anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else you can think of that would help us to understand how you and your life have enriched Baltimore County or the Cockeysville area?
There is maybe one or two more things. Way back, now we're going back, and I could have brought a Towson. At that time, there was a Towson Town News. It was a little fake newspaper. I have one copy of it. And it was after I had built the building there next to the Towson Diner. And it was probably a July or August edition because it has a description of the parade, the 4th of July parade. And we had built a float, and we had it on a trailer and a swimming pool, the trailer, so it must have been in the 50s. And we had 3 girls, a secretary, and a bookkeeper, and my daughter in bathing suits. And we had a quartet of guys, barbershop quartet, singing Minnie the Mermaid down by the bottom of this. We won first prize. I just really enjoyed doing volunteer things for the, and I don't know where that comes from, but it came. And I was on what was called the Industrial Committee of the Towson Town Association, and I can remember it was Jim Campbell and Murray from Murray Corporation, and there was the fellow that owned the optical business up in Sparks. He was an engineer, and we had industrial buildings, commercial buildings, had a kind of a bad reputation at the time. That they were all built utilitarian, and we on this committee thought that we could improve that reputation if we could interest these people in landscaping around their buildings. And we instituted a contest that we gave an award, probably a plaque, to the company that did the best job of improving the appearance of the outside of his building. And since that time, I think we may have been the impetus to start that, but if you realize that every building that's built now includes landscaping around it. You don't see any more of those stark buildings. So I think I can feel proud that I was a part of that group. It seemed like I felt, how come I'm this little guy in there with Jim Campbell and Murray and all these big industrialists, but we got along just fine. And they asked me to be in charge of the first, it was some kind of industrial exposition, I guess they called it, in the Towson YMCA. And I can remember one of the exhibits was Head Skis. Head lived in Timonium and started to build his first skis, metal skis there. And that was one of the exhibits that I can remember that we were able to get there. So we had an industrial exhibit. That was a fun thing. Yeah, I'm remembering things that I hadn't thought about before. I haven't thought about for a long time. Well, at this point, I'm not thinking of any other thing that would really stand out. I was very proud to have been able to provide a library for Cockeysville. You know, if I hadn't suggested renting, we might not have had one.
And much later.
Yeah, until much later.
Okay, you ready to conclude?
Anytime you're ready.
Okay, in conclusion, you grew up in Baltimore City and then in Baltimore County, attended a well-respected high school, served with honor in the United States Navy, were instrumental in the growth of commercial buildings in Baltimore County, employed many citizens in several businesses, including the Padunia Swim Club, contributed greatly to the history and the importance of the community of Cockeysville with a library, played a leading role in the Cockeysville Lions Club, married, have children, grandchildren, and provided all of us with an excellent model of service to the citizens and your family. Thank you, Mr. Ira Charles Ricker.
Thank you for allowing me this privilege.
Our pleasure.